Hey friends, welcome back to The Generous Poor. I'm Lori, and today we're doing a full wallet unstuffing, going over my spending from the last 2 weeks, looking ahead at what the next 2 weeks looks like, and then budgeting out our very first paycheck in October, which is really hard to say. I can't even believe it. And we are budgeting $2,408 this month. I'm close to debt payoff. If you've been following my Sunday debt binder games, I am trying to push everything I can right now to paying off as much as I can, because high interest credit cards, any sort of extra payments to banks is not what I am trying to feel these days. I'm trying to move it back into my account. And so as much as I can put to debt, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to crush it. And I'm hopefully in the next month or so, maybe 6 weeks, that's going to happen. So we made a huge debt payment yesterday, and I'm so excited for it. I decided, instead of building up some categories that I was doing, I just wanted to kind of move things over and pay that debt, because everything just feels like when debt kind of lingering over your head, it's stressful, and it's hard to sleep. It's hard to kind of manage things. And so with that sort of in the lane, kind of seeing the finish line, it just feels so wonderful. So whatever you can do, if you have some debt out there, as long as you sort of make those payments and get those things done, I mean, eventually you'll be able to start paying yourself. So go for it, do it. And join me on Sundays if you want to see how I'm doing it. So this month, I've decided to give myself a little more room in dining out and personal. And I know, even though I said everything's going to debt, life is full right now, and I want to be prepared and not stressed. And so I'm going to be probably bumping up my dining out and my personal categories, because we have some things coming up. And so we'll see that. But anyway, first things first, let's see what's in my wallet. And see what we can unstuff. What I do is, as I spend from my envelopes, when they empty, I put them into my Overflow binder. And so giving, which is extra tips or taking a friend to coffee or anything sort of, this is a kindness envelope. And I use that, and I also use my spending, my personal spending. So I will put that, I'm going to put this right here. We'll put this off to the side. And we will, let's grab our credit card. So I keep a tracker in my wallet, and so as I spend or swipe on my credit card, which is the only way I can make the system work for us, is we are not full cash, and so I swipe my credit card, but I pull from my cash envelopes and bring it right back to the bank, so that I'm not looking to accrue extra debt. And so as I clean things out, we have a fresh start. And so when I unstuff my wallet tomorrow when we get paid, I know that whatever's left in these envelopes have already paid off my credit card, what I've purchased. So it is money that it can go to savings games or Overflow or whatever I want that to go to. So let's jump into, we had a very spendy couple of weeks. And so dining out, or 1 week. So dining out, actually, let's go to groceries first. So groceries is $210 and $79. So it's going to get $289. And when I have the cash in here, I know exactly what I'm going to be spending and what my parameters are. And that's what makes cash stuffing so wonderful, is you go to the grocery store and you're like, I can't do this, I can do this, or I need to make something stretch. And so it just puts some guardrails around my spending, which is pretty fantastic. So $289 is coming out of groceries. So 1, 2, 50, 70, 80, and 90. And so we can put this right here. Whoops. 150, 70, 80, 90. So we have $15 left in grocery. Wait, is that right? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So we have this in here, and I owe groceries $1 more. So I will put this off to the side. So groceries, and then I'll do groceries, because I'll forget, because that's how I do that. Okay, so household, I should have brought change, but I didn't. story of my life doing this. So dining out is going to get, no, that's household. It's 12. You know what? I might have to get change. Let's see what dining out gives us first. So dining out is 42 plus 15. So that's 57. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get change. I don't know what I was thinking. So dining out is gonna get 57. So this is owed. So I'm going to break, I gotta get some change out of here. This is my change envelope. And let's just pull out some ones. So we'll do, so we have $10 in ones, and I'll take a 10 and put that in there. So now dining out is getting $3 back. I'm sorry, dining out. Jeez, I'm starting to confuse myself. And so now dining out has 13. And that one is done. And we'll put our dollar back into groceries. Let's do dining out right here and right here. And then groceries is gonna get $1. And now that is done. And I already checked those. Okay, so now household is gonna get 12. And household has 20, or I'm getting 12, so it needs 8 back. Let's see here. So we have 25. So let's put the 25 here, and we'll take 13. So household has 13 now. Household. And then my buffer doesn't look like I used any, or it looks like I might be using this buffer for another category because I overspent. So let's pull out Pearls real quick. So Pearl, I always keep our dogs, we spend $30 a week on her food, and I always keep it in here in my Overflow because it's on a credit card, but I also want to know that I'm keeping track of it. So hers is 30. So we'll put that there. And then now we're going to move on to anniversary. So my husband and I celebrated our anniversary, and my son actually came home with his girlfriend, and we went out to dinner, and we just did some fun things. And so we spent more than, you know, with gifts and different things, we spent more than I have in my envelope. So it was 301, and I have 100, 225 in the bank. So I need 76. And so I am going to, I might get 5. Did I put my buffer back in here? No. Where did I put my buffer? There it is. I might pull one of the ones from my buffer, put this here, and then do, no, that's not going to work. Well, that's not going to work because I don't have enough ones. All right, let's see how we can do this. So what I decided is I was going to take from fall, and that is right here. So I need 76. So 50, 75. And this is in the bank as well. So let me put this back in here. So these are categories that I have for just events and things that have happened. We weren't expecting my son and his girlfriend to come home, and we didn't want to not include them in our dinner plans because it's rare. And so I want to make sure that I'm funding categories that I can say yes to everybody. And that is exactly what happened here. So we owe $1, and I think I might have a leftover $1 in here, which I do, which I was going to use for savings challenges, but I'm going to use it here so that that is done. So that is done. And then now we are going to go to, gifts. So gifts, I think is right. A girlfriend celebrated her birthday, and $15, we did a group gift. And so I need to put back, my portion was 15. And so I love group gifts because, you know, it's like packs a lot of punch. And so we got her flowers and a gift, and my portion was 15. So that was perfect. Okay, so now we're going to move on to dining out. So my son, we went and met my son who lives in Boston, and we took him out to dinner and did some fun things in Boston. And so instead of just taking it out of dining out, which I think we have a little bit more money in here. So let's see. So we have 13 and we owe 110. So I'm going to take 10 out. We'll keep the 3 in here for either rollover or savings challenges when I cash stuff tomorrow. And then I decided to take the 100 out of experiences, which might be in my other, yeah, it's in my other envelope. Because we did do something with my son up in Boston. So let's take, here it is. So experiences, I'm going to pull out, so we have 220 in here, and I'm going to pull out 100. And so now we have 120 left. Again, some of my categories are broad, and it's because we have, our kids are not, you know, they're 22, 18. I mean, I just want to be able to make sure we're doing things with them when those times come up. So that is done. Now we are going to move on to the same binder. And I had a copay for the dentist, and that was $25. So we should have 150 in here. So 100, 20, 40, 50. And so I'm going to take out 25. And I keep our health in our high yield savings account as well, because I don't know when I'm going to use it, and I don't want it just sitting in here building up. And there's 5 of us, and so this envelope could build up quickly. And I would just rather it be in the bank. So that is done. Medical's done. And speaking of medical, I was cooking for the girls this week. In fact, I only cook for the girls on days that our school here in town is in session. And Tuesday we were not in session because of Rosh Hashanah. But I got a text from them, and they were like, can you cook dinner tonight? And so I pulled something together quickly. And as I was chopping up chicken, I sliced my finger. And it was just sort of on my nail bed. And so I'm kind of keeping the nail together until it grows out. There was no blood. There was no anything. It was just sort of this clean break on my nail. And so now it's hard for me to grip some of this stuff. But anyway, hopefully that didn't gross anybody out. But that is life, I guess. Okay, so business. Feels like I'm constantly dipping into this envelope because we're at 0 again. I had to get, so that's 20, and we're done. This felt like a big unstuffing this week. So anyway, I had to get paper, and so I got a big spool of it, or I don't even know if it's called a spool, but I had to get a big ream of it at Costco, and now I won't have to do it for a while, but it was pricey for what I got. Okay, so now that we've got this done, let's count up and see what I should have over here. So we should have $686. Let's just make sure I did that right. 42. Whoops, I think I did it wrong. Oh, I sure did do it wrong. Is that right? Okay, so we should have 859 over here. So let's take out the prop money. Let's put this all in order. I don't like to mix this with my real money because if I deposited prop money, that would not be good at all. So 10, 5, and 100. So in prop money, we have 1, and with my thumb being bandaged, it's hard to move it. So 2, 3, is that right? So minus 3, minus 50, $80, 10, 20, 30. So we should have 399 in the cash tray. And I hope that's right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 95, 96, 97, 98, and 99. So 399. So that is right. So we have $399 going back to the bank to pay the credit card, which is beautiful. So we'll put that in my, so I keep a bank deposit inside my Overflow so that I know that goes back to the bank. And then what I will do is move the money, this high yield, the money that is in our high yield savings account back to my checking account so that I can pay off this entire credit card purchase. So that is going in there. And then I can put this back. I will wipe this off. And I don't know if everybody knows this, but these magic erase, literally, this is what I do. I mean, and then it goes right back into my, wallet. Hopefully I'm not shaking you too much. I used to spend like time in wiping this down, and my entire wallet, everything would just get wet and it would creep in, and it was horrible. And so it was just horrible. And so now this magic erase is amazing. Anyway, okay, so now we are going to, I'm going to put my calculator off to the side. And I don't think that we need, I'm going to put this back in my wallet because we don't need these. And put this right there. And I will grab, before we start our cash stuffing, so I'm going to go into September and just sort of glance at what my last week looked like when I cash stuffed on the 19th. So the 19th to the 30th, because tomorrow is payday. So we had a date night, an anniversary. This was our anniversary dinner, and my son came to visit. I had 1, 2, 3 no spend days. It's really hard to have no spend days, harder than you think, because you're like, oh, I have to do this or that or whatever. I did go to a book event at my library where some publishers came and presented their books for the upcoming season, and it was free. And I came home with 3 books, so that was fantastic. And then our trip to Boston and our dinner with our son and our activities that day was on Sunday. And so that was that. And then now if we flip to October, as we're going through, the only things I have for the next week, we have Parents Weekend. And so we are going to be going to my son's college. And that's why I've upped, you'll see this week, I'm going to be upping some categories because I want to make sure that my groceries and different things, the extras, dinners out, the coffees, everything, it's just easier to make sure to see what's creeping in and looking ahead. We have a lot going on. Parents Weekend, so it's travel, meals out, we may or may not take my son's roommate out to dinner or do different things like that, but I want to enjoy it without worrying about my money. So I'm building that in, even if it's $20 or $40 or whatever, and kind of lessen some of the other categories. So that is going to do it for that. So let's go to my weekly budget. And this is a budget that I created, and I do this every week. And so this is going to be our October #1, and our income this month, or this pay period, is $24.08, and so that's what we have to budget with this time. So groceries, I should have filled this out. Household, Lori, dining out. And my dining out and my date night are merged as the same category because it mostly is when my husband and I are dining out. I consider that a date night. So Pearl, our Siberian Husky, and giving and buffer. So let's grab my calculator. I'm going to move this money off to the side as well. So we have $24.08 to work with. And so I was giving myself $600 every pay period for groceries, but now that I'm cooking for the girls, I am upping it $50 a week. So we are going to do $700. Household is also going to get bumped up a little bit because we do have people coming in and out, and I reduced it probably prematurely, but with all the people coming into town and different things like that, that I think I prematurely reduced it and I shouldn't have. So I'm also upping my personal money by $25 a week. Again, I just want a little more flexibility. We have a lot of stuff coming up, and I don't want to be dipping into categories that are not, it just keeps me up at night. And so if I build in a little buffer, I would rather do that. So dining out is also going to get $150, and so that's $75 a week. Pearl will get her usual $60. So she gets $30 a week. It's her food and some treats. And then giving is going to get $10 a week, so that is $20. And this is outside of giving that we do sort of on a monthly basis because I don't do bills in this. And so we have automatic deductions coming out for our bigger giving. This is more like treating a friend or extra tip for a waiter, or even if I see my kids and I want to give them extra money. So, and buffer is going to get its usual $50. So that's $25 a week. So that is, let me put right here, $1178. So 700 plus 100. So that is $12.30, and that is for my wallet envelopes. And so what I do is I split this in half, and it goes into week 1 and then week 2, because I like to keep I like to know what I'm spending each week in. I like to look at my wallet and know that what I have to spend is for that week, instead of looking at my wallet and kind of doing the mental math of this is for this week, this is for next week. So I kind of keep it separated. And so I put week 1 in my cash envelopes in my wallet, and week 2 goes into my overflow, and then I switch it at the end of the week. So anyway, okay, so my games every week or every 2 weeks is $600 because I play $150 per game, and I have 2 games per week. And so that is for that. That's for my debt, and that is for my seasonal binder. And then I do my minis, and I do $50 per week, so this will be $100. So we have $1178 minus $600 minus $100. And then I have my $500, which I'm going to grab. So this is my $500 dollar binder. And so what I'm going to do is I just put in whatever I can, and I'm trying to make it to, this is Iris Budgets, and I tried to get into, so we'll do 20 in this one. So you just put it in here, your money, and then at the end you will have collected $500, or saved, collected, sorry. So we're going to do minus 20. And then I have my 1K, which is right here. And this is a binder that I made. And so this 1K, which is going to debt, I'm going to put $10 in. And again, same concept. So what I've been doing is these are my $50 spots. and I put one up in the front, and so that I can just do $10 once these are filled. So any denomination works in here. So whatever you can give builds up, and then you move it to the appropriate envelope. So that's really fun. Okay, so this is my 5K. This is a big one. And it's so big that I don't even have a anything in any of them. So what I've been doing is putting money back here so that I can move out into the bigger envelopes, just like before. So we'll do $20 on this one. And then we have one last one. Whoops, that one just fell. And this is the 10K. And that other binder was Iris Budgets, and this is my binder. I watched one of her videos on how to make it. And what I did is I made a savings tracker, and these are all $25. So as we move along, we'll be able to move these into the 200 spots. This one's gonna take me over a year at least, because this is $10,000 saved. But it's a lofty goal, but I'm up for the challenge. So that is my 10K. Oops, that one came off, but I will put it back on later. So it looks like we have 413 left, but let's just make sure. So this is 775. Okay. And then we have 413 that can go into our sinking funds. So let me grab, this is my high priority binder. And hopefully you can see that. So 1 month ahead, oops, 1 month ahead is going to get 10. Emergency is going to get 10. And I haven't been funding this like I should because I am committed to debt payoff, but I still wanted to put a little bit into these envelopes because right now I'm probably about 6 weeks off from paying off all of our credit card debt, and it feels really so good. And then I'll start infusing different things with the extra money that we're saving. So home maintenance, we had a microwave that went out over the summer, and so I'm just trying to put a little bit at a time into it because everything just seems so expensive. And if you don't have this category, and we've lived in our house long enough that we're starting to see where we're coming into things that need to be improved. Okay, so yard and garden. I'm putting away money because we have to get our lawn reseeded, and it's always a huge, huge amount of money. And so I need to put as much as I can in that one as well. So that is going to do it for, well, let's see if I did that right. So 413 minus 10. So 370, is that right? Is that right? 3 minus 10. So 368. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so now we'll get into medical. And this is for co-pays, different things that come up. Again, $10. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it adds up. $10 every week really does add up. So we are going to go into experiences because I just took money out of experiences. Wellness, I'm going to put some money in. I just want to, this is, again, is $5. I just want to make sure I kind of keep going with this. Okay, so that is going to do it for my high priority binder. And this is one of my favorite binders here, is our holiday and celebrations binder. And this is going to, we have 3 boys, so boy number 1, number 2, and number 3. And I'm going to give them each $20. And we'll take 60 out. I'm doing this because Karen at the Faithful Dash does this for all of her kids. And at Thanksgiving, she gives them all their money that she's been collecting throughout the year as sort of a jump start to the holiday season. And when she said that, I was like, that's amazing. So I'm a little bit behind, but better late than never. So birthdays is going to get, we have 110 in now. I'm going to do 40 because my husband's birthday is coming up and I want to make sure that is funded. Gifts, I just took money out for a friend's birthday, so I need to, I think that's wrong, because I don't think I'll update the trackers later, but that one's definitely wrong because I just took money out of it. Celebrate, I think we just completely depleted because of our anniversary, which I used to have an anniversary envelope in here, and I switched it to Celebrate. So this is our anniversary. Just sort of things that come up. So I'll put $10 back into that. Fall, I think I still have some money in there. I did take some money out of that for a trip that we just came back with my son. Winter, I'm gonna put $5 in. And I think I don't think I put that $10 in, but let's see at the end. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We are going down to Virginia, and I want to make sure I have money in there for our trip. Because we have Thanksgiving, we have 150 in there right now, so we put 100. Yeah, I need to build that up. New Year's Eve, I'm going to do 5, even though we have 60. I'm going to try and build it up to about 100. We don't really have plans on New Year's Eve, but I want to make sure if we want to go to dinner or do something that I have money in there. And then this is going to be 100, and so I didn't put the 5. So that looks like that is going to do it. So let's count this. 10, 10 plus 40, 13, 10, 10, 5. So 10, 10, 5, 60, 40, 13. I think I might be, is that right? 1025 plus 60 plus 40 plus 13. Whoops, I did a minus. So 10. Okay, so that's right. So that's 368. Okay, so we have 1230 plus 775 plus 35 plus 368. So 2408. So that is exactly right. Right on the dot. I love it when it lines up perfectly after a few punches of the calculator. I built in extra because if Parents Weekend ends up being pricier than I planned, my step is to go into my buffer or use some of my own money, or I'll move a little from dining out. And if I really need to, I'll pull some from our Overflow. But what I'm not going to do is put it on the card because we're too close to my debt payoff to backslide now. So that is going to do it. We unstuffed our wallet. We logged all the credit card purchases. Things are going back to the bank. I've looked backwards and forwards in my calendar. And I gave every dollar of our next paycheck a job. So debt is still my priority, but I'm also giving myself room to enjoy life, especially with Parents Weekend coming up with my son. And that balance feels really good. So if you like this video, please subscribe, and it helps my little channel grow. And let me know in the comments what you're budgeting for this October. I actually can't even believe we are already in October. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow for cash stuffing. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.